I'm Karen Cooper. I'm the founder of Empowering Women in Real Estate, and we are here today for our June monthly meetup. Our topic today is going to be growing your business using social media. We are super excited now to be able to offer these meetups via video. We have 16 different locations that are meeting today across the country. I think our furthest is Ohio or Colorado, actually. And so if you are not able to come to one of our meetups, having the video is going to be a great option for you. It's going to be available in the group in just a couple of days once our editing is complete. But then starting next month, it's going to be available to our Empower Coaching clients only. So happy to have you join us. I am founder of Empowering Women in Real Estate. I'm the owner of the Platinum Group Real Estate team. I've been in business for 17 years. Facebook is where I'm most comfortable, but Instagram has quickly become my favorite. So if we have time today, I'm gonna have you pull out your phones and show you some of my favorite Instagram tips that I've learned. So I'm hoping we'll have time for that. So go right ahead, Lisa.
Hi everybody. I'm gonna pass my card around because I'm not a realtor and I wanna meet everybody. So my name is Lisa Geraci Rigoni. I own the Organizing Mentors. So we help you, if you're a realtor, with your clients. I like to say getting them out of the basement and onto the market a little quicker. And I've been in business, I've owned this 11 years or so, I think. I have 7 organizers who work for me and work with me, I should say. And so we cover the gamut of all Northern Virginia now. And my favorite is Facebook also, but my marketing team wants me to get more on Instagram, which if someone is doing it for me.
Yes.
And Pinterest, I'm supposed to get on because I'm an organizer. But here's the thing: I think my business is a little different. So if you get on my website, the pictures aren't Pinterest. We call it's not Pinterest perfect. It's how our clients left the house. So our pictures aren't really. Pinterest.
You know, we were at, you were with me, Martha, at the She's Unstoppable Live. You were there too, Lauren, at conference, and there was a speaker who is a Pinterest expert. And do you remember her presentation? You didn't see that one? It was really, really good. And she talked about it doesn't have to be perfect because what you can do is you can create your own graphic. So that is sort of the I don't know what you call it, like your snapshot or the thumbnail that shows up on Pinterest. And then you can link there to your other stuff. Her name was Rachel Ngom, Ngom, if anybody wants to look her up. And she has a really good system. Right? Yeah, it was good, right?
I just I've been trying to do it and I've only done it like 5 times. But it was really cool. And you can create the what you want it to look like the tab. I did it on Canva. So like if I do a video about, I don't know, 10 ways to get your home ready to sell, then I went and did something on Canva. And actually Canva has that option, Pinterest.
Oh, cool.
Oh, there you go.
Whatever you call it.
All right, there you go. Perfect. And then another little side note about Lisa. Lisa just did a training for us, for my team a couple of weeks ago. And there was a little soundbite that you gave us that I have used like probably 20 times since we met with you. So what Lisa said is we were talking about stuff, and your clients do this. They do this with their things that they don't want to get rid of in their house. They also do it with their houses. Like, have you ever had someone who said, oh, but my house is worth more than the neighbor because we get a special breeze that the neighbor doesn't get, right? And so Lisa said, you gave the example of the client who had the watch to sell, and they were upset that someone only wanted to pay $50. And
they didn't want it.
What did you say to them?
Long story, like we all wear different hats, right? Long story, I'll summarize it, was the only person it's worth something to is you, because it was his grandfather's and you don't want it.
Right, isn't that good?
So sell it, get $50 for it, or like I said, wear it, put it on your shelf, say thank you grandpa every time you see it, or take the $50. I mean, that was like seriously.
So I love that. You're the only person who it's valuable to, and you don't want it. Like, I thought that was so I love that. I've used that over and over again. Okay, Martha.
Hi, I'm Martha Mason with Law Foster Real Estate in the Leesburg office, and I've been doing this 4 years next month, and real estate. Thank you. Favorite social media? I'm most comfortable on Facebook as well, but I've been trying Instagram, and at that conference I went to a YouTube workshop, and so I've been trying to do that. I've got a couple videos up that I shared one of them, but I'm getting there. It's a work in progress, but I've used Canva for the thumbnail, so I'm entering into trying to do all that myself, because I was paying someone to do the social media stuff, and it just didn't feel as authentic, or and I wasn't as connected to it. So so I'm trying to learn more about the stories on Instagram and all that stuff too.
Kim, you do YouTube. Do you?
No,
you just do a lot of good videos.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of videos.
Okay.
I interviewed her.
I was going to say.
YouTube video.
Okay.
I'd love to do that with you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And do live stream on your site. That's another thing that I do every Friday now at 1, because I would just pick a time. I would just do it, and I'll do random ones, but not that I have people waiting on their phones for 1 o'clock for me to come out. But at least people know
they see it later.
Every Friday I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And it's just whoever.
Yeah.
It's just anything, organizing anything, just to get your face out there.
Awesome.
You mess up all the time, and it's okay.
You just got to keep doing it.
It's okay. Yeah.
Melody.
Hi, I'm Melody Visser. I'm actually new to the Go Cotton group, just 2 weeks, so I'm really excited about that. And see, it's been 6 years in real estate. I definitely feel most comfortable. I've been on Facebook for a long time, but like many of you, I'm trying to do better and get better at Instagram. Obviously, it's very popular, and I go in spurts where I'm really good, and then I won't post on there for 2 weeks. So it's kind of a goal to do better with that. So, and also learn how to easily do things. It took me a little while. I feel like I'm really good at things like that, but for some reason I struggled at first with Instagram. I don't know why.
It's a little different. I think that's why. But it's really fun once you start learning and trying some new things. So hopefully we'll have time to share that today.
I feel like you get sometimes more, I don't know, you can call them likes on Instagram.
Engagement.
Yeah. Because you can see too, on your stories, how many people look
That's
at
right.
it.
That's right. Okay, awesome. Lauren?
Yeah, I'm Lauren DeFreitas. I'm with Pearson Smith in the Ashburn office. I've been an agent for 5 years, I guess it's been now. Time goes by so
So quick.
And as far as social media, I'm really only on Facebook. So I want to branch out, Instagram or whatever. Maybe start doing some videos, but I'm not there yet. So I'm trying to get a handle on my Facebook first.
Yes, and we're going to talk about that today. My recommendation is you start with one platform and you get comfortable with that before you move on to something else. So that's awesome. Chelina brought for us from one of her friends some little goodie bags, but little goodie mugs. And I think we have almost enough for everybody. So we'll pass that out to everybody afterwards. So thank you for that.
My name is Chelina Donovan, and I'm with Pearson Smith Realty. I've been in the real estate business for over 2.5 years. And as far as social media is concerned, I feel like I'm a total newbie. I don't do anything other than Facebook, but I really don't post much on Facebook because I'm not quite sure what to do there yet.
Okay.
So that's why I'm here. I want to learn from, harvest the wisdom of the veterans, and hopefully move up from there.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Great. Glad you're here.
I'm not a realtor. I send my card around. I do social media.
Perfect. How convenient. Yeah. Now I really have a lot of pressure to say all the right things today. I know.
Make any corrections. I've been
do
doing
ads.
digital marketing for 3 years because that's where it's at. I mean, that's where the money should be spent. Best ROI on your marketing budget, hands down. For realtors, Facebook. There's you can do bots now. I don't know if you're familiar with bots.
I've heard of them.
The opening rates on my bots are like 90%.
Wow.
So if someone engages with an ad, one of your ads at any time,
I know.
the likelihood of them opening and going through your whole system, you don't need CRMs, it's everything. It's completely automated under your brand. It's about 90%. So if you're doing, I don't want to go on.
No.
If you're targeting, if you know what you're doing, and I take 10 to 12 hours a week just to stay current. So the thought of realtors doing it by themselves is just not lovely to me.
Yeah.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah.
It truly is.
Yeah.
But here's here's an example, and I know this probably won't go over well in a room full of realtors, but I had someone retain me to do a for sale by owner. Didn't do an MLS listing, nothing. But with my ads, we sold the house in 14 days.
Wow.
Because it got in front of the people who
Yeah.
were likely to buy it,
Yes.
who could afford it, who were actively looking, and it saved them a lot of money.
Yeah.
It was the smoothest. We had it. Anyone who was interested got a quick video of the place. They were pre-qualified. They had one open house, 2 offers.
Wow,
So
that's excellent.
about the power of MLS. So
Yeah.
imagine with the power.
Right, what they could have done.
Under your own branding. So
Yeah.
paying for like Zillow, Realtor.com, people that you're sharing your leads with is insanity.
Yeah.
You can have your own system built for you.
Yes, I love exactly what you're saying, and we've done that with my team. We've really shifted away from paying for Zillow leads and paying for Realtor.com leads because, you know, we're paying for a tiny piece of what like 12 other people are getting, and so we've really moved just to the Facebook ads primarily, some Instagram, because it is what works. So I'm glad you're here today. I'm sure you're going to have a lot to share with us. So thanks for coming. All right, Lynn.
I'm Lynn McCabe. I'm with Keller Williams Capital Properties. This is my 4th year in real estate. Currently, I was a realtor in Montgomery County back in the 80s. My husband and partner and I just love the business. It's every day is just falling in love all over again.
Aw.
And,
With each other or the business? Both. Because you guys are kind of newlyweds in a way. 1 year. So sweet. All right.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Oh, so I'm
yeah.
on.
Thank you, Patricia.
Thanks.
Keep me honest,
on,
yeah.
Facebook, I have an Instagram business page, but I'm really negligent about keeping it updated, and that's what I really need help with because I hired someone to create that page, and he gave me directions, and I have no idea what to do.
Yep.
Nothing goes from the Facebook ads to the Instagram.
Yep.
Who knows why?
Yeah.
but-
Maybe you know who to ask. All right, Patrice.
My name's Patrice, and I'm with Carrier Away Gifts, and I'll pass my card because I'm not a realtor. Facebook is what I started with, and probably about 6 months ago, I had a millennial talk to me about, and millennials know a lot about this stuff, my Instagram. So I was doing it, but I wasn't using it and everything, so she happened to do a little class, and she picked my business on Instagram to pick apart, and everybody was there.
Oh.
And it was a good
That's
thing.
great.
She loved one
great
of my
advice.
gifts that I did, and she said, where did you get the container? And I said, I just got it at Michael's, which most of my stuff I get wholesale. So, I'm not going to tag my wholesaler or
Right.
anything like that. And she goes, well, let me show you about Michael's. So we went, anything that you're using, you should follow them and like them and tag them and all that kind of stuff.
Oh.
Well, when you go to Michael's, and they actually tell you that if you hashtag made it at Michael's, you get an opportunity. They will see that, and maybe they'll use you in their ads.
Oh,
So
that's
guess who
awesome.
follow me now? Michael's.
Oh, right. That's nice.
They haven't approached me for any ads, but I saw that, and so now I really pay attention. And also, Instagram, you can automatically post it to your Facebook page too. So I tend to do that first and have it go to my Twitter and that kind of stuff. So
Great job.
Anyway, Instagram has become good to me.
All right, excellent. Good for you.
And guess who's shopping more at Michael's?
There you I bet.
I did, and I said, I only have 2 of these left.
Oh.
So it was on clearance, and I
Of
think
course,
they were
yeah.
Maybe they'll bring it back
$9.
just for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like,
Look online.
Hey.
Some of their clearance stuff
There you
might
go.
be online still.
right.
Jessica?
I never thought of
Supposed
that.
to be used a lot.
My name is Jessica. I'm a loan officer with Farm Credit. I have been with them for 12 years. We specialize in financing agriculture and rural properties. Mostly Western Loudoun is where our business is. For social media, Facebook, Instagram and Snapchat, but I really only use them to post pictures of my kids.
Who, by the way, her son has the most luscious head of curly hair that you have ever seen. Yeah.
I don't ever use it for my business or for what I do. I just use it socially to connect with friends and family. So.
Okay, I'm glad you're here. Kim.
I'm Kim Tumbles. I'm a loan officer with Atlanta Coast Mortgage. I am on LinkedIn, Facebook, new to business Instagram. Gonna do YouTube by next week. That's what we talked about.
All right.
So I'm gonna use all those videos I've done and just kind of create the channel.
Awesome.
Facebook is where I'm most comfortable, for sure. I try to do a video every week. Last week was a disaster because of graduation. But I'm back on track already.
Awesome.
And I want to explore a couple things. I want to get the behind the scenes, how to get more views on Facebook and Instagram. I want the nuts and bolts behind it. And
Okay.
Analytics.
Ah, there you go.
I know
Okay.
you're supposed to like and comment on at least 12 things before you post your video. Or something like somebody told me that would get you more views.
I don't know.
But whatever the secrets are.
We want to hear them. Okay, good. All right, I love it. That's awesome. We have Jen Thomas is over there. Wave, Jen. Jen works with me, and so thank you for coming and setting up for us. And then I know you should come up here and sit. And then in the back we have Alex and Gabriel from Dexios Designs, who are clients of mine, and they also help me with my social media. So Alex does a lot of my Instagram. Gabriel's going to be doing the video. He's done a lot of videos for my team. If you've ever seen the video that we did for our movie event in the back in the winter, they did that for us. So they're really awesome. So let's start for today. So I'm going to begin, which I don't usually do this, but I'm going to begin with a disclaimer. And the disclaimer is, I am not a social media expert. So I don't have any special training. I don't, but I am a learner and a consumer of information. And I have been selling real estate for 17 years. I have sold well over 700 homes in my career. And what I'm going to talk about today are the things that I do personally in my business and have worked for me. So they may not be the most, modern way. It may not be the best way. I'm sure there's going to be things that I could learn from everybody of better ways to do it. But this is just what I know and what has worked for me. So we'll share that. I will tell you that over the last, 4 or 5 years in my business, I track consistently where all my business comes from. And social media, specifically Facebook, has become a higher and higher and higher percentage every single year. And whereas my leads that I would get in a year's time, maybe in the beginning, 5-10% came from Facebook. Now it's like 40-45% comes from Facebook. So that tells me that I'm doing some right things, and so I'm going to share those, and we can all learn from each other. So
Can I ask a question
please.
about that? So these are people that you didn't know before?
Some are and some aren't. Okay. And I'll give an example later on, but for example, a listing that I have right now came from a Facebook ad that I did, and it was somebody that I did not know, and she specifically saw my ad, started messaging with me, and then I listed their property. A lot of the people, it's people that maybe I already know or have some kind of connection with, but right, and it's just like we talk about with geographic farming. I know you've heard me say you can't just do one thing. Like if all you do is run an ad and expect, or send a postcard and expect people to call you, that doesn't work. You have to have multiple things. So when they see your ad pop up in their Facebook feed and then they drive past your sign and then they, it's the connection, and that's what I think. That's what that attributes to. Martha's question was, when I'm talking about my leads that came more from Facebook, are they people that I knew already and had a relationship with, or were they strangers? And the answer is both. So
I recommend getting a code when you do an ad or you do something special. Like I'm talking at the chamber next week, and so on my Facebook, mention, I don't know what the code is, Chamber 101, and then you'll get a special discount. So then you can also track where it comes from, because even if they're going to go on my Facebook page and it's linked to my website, so they can, or the chamber, they can use that code, and we can also.
So then you can
figure
connect
out
and find, because somebody was
where
talking
they
about
came from.
analytics. Were you talking about analytics? So understanding where
Yeah.
things are coming
And
from.
I
So
just
that's
do
one
that.
way.
That's my marketing.
Somebody,
media
okay, somebody
guy.
did that for you.
Yeah,
Okay,
doing that,
awesome. I think that I feel like social media is almost like a double-edged sword. It's like we love to hate it, like especially if you have teenagers, they're like this with their phone all the time. And so it's easy to complain, but yet it's become such a fixture, I think, in everyone's life, and particularly in our businesses. And so if you're not active on it, or at least have an appropriate presence, then I actually believe it hurts your business. So it's important to have that. So
You got to be careful what you post, people.
yeah.
Just don't make comments. Just like I've learned, just don't make comments.
Yeah. Make
Anything
positive
controversial.
comments.
Unless you really.
delete it.
Yeah, there you go. you got it out there.
Even something because
Yeah.
someone's,
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
So where to start? So if you don't have an account, Julian just walked away, but if you don't have an account already, get an account and pick one thing is my suggestion. So, a lot of us have talked about Instagram, but if you haven't yet mastered and gotten comfortable with Facebook, then I would suggest you put Instagram on hold. Even though, yes, you can, like Patrice was saying, you can take your Instagram and you can post it there, and then you can send that over to Facebook. You still need to do some tweaks because certain hashtags don't, it's not going to look the same from Instagram to Facebook, and if you tag something, it's not going to look the same. And so, in my opinion, get really good with one thing. Start with Facebook and then expand. Does everybody have a Facebook account? Everybody's got either personal or business. All right, good. Okay, so figure out which one's going to be the primary source for your business. So, like I said, for me, it was Facebook, and then it moved into Instagram. What worked for me? So I hear lots of people debate. There's the debate between the personal Facebook page and the business Facebook page. And then what happens is people are maybe really active on their personal page, sharing their cute kids pictures, and then they have the business page and they post on it once a year. And I think that almost hurts you more, because when I get a referral, what is someone likely doing before they call me? I don't think they Google anymore. They go to Facebook and they type in my name. And so if my business page pops up, but my last post was 18 months ago, they're going to assume that I'm not in business, or they're going to assume that I don't do a lot of business. So for me personally, what has worked is I am very active on my personal page. I friend a lot of my clients. That doesn't work for everyone, but for me, that has been really beneficial. I don't friend everyone, and I don't friend them until after the transaction. But yes, that's the key, is you friend them after the transaction. But that's a personal choice. That's not right for everyone. For me, my personal philosophy is I do post some business on my Facebook, on my personal Facebook page, because it's part of my life. And like what we're sharing on Facebook is our lives. And I have other friends that post about their work and their businesses, so why should I be embarrassed to do mine? Now, I think the caveat to that is you don't want every single post on your personal page to be, I just sold 12 houses, or my coming soon listing, coming soon listing, coming soon listing. Nobody wants to see that, and they're going to unfollow you immediately because you're just spamming. So, there's a ratio I heard once, and I don't know if it's right or wrong or whatever, that for every, 3 or 4 personal posts, then you do a business post. So it's not a constant business. You mix it in. So that has worked really well for me because it keeps me top of mind with my clients. And it keeps me top of mind, not just with my clients, but with my sphere of influence, who then are more likely to refer me because they think of me as a realtor. For me, my business page has transformed. The business page I started with, I used to try, I think Lynn, you were saying, like you get some posts on there and then you kind of stop, and I struggled with that. Like I didn't know what to post and it wasn't interesting to me. So that still exists, and I have a pinned or a highlighted post that says, to follow me, I'm now, follow my team. But I started a business page specifically for my geographic farm. And this has become really, really good for me. And I use it really, honestly, for a vehicle for Facebook ads. I'm not worried about how many followers I have. I do post regularly, But really what it does for me is it allows me to do ads for my listings. Most of what I do is in my geographic farm. What I have found is when I post, I'm going to do one later today or tomorrow, a video of a new listing that I have, and then I will boost it, and I boost it to my entire zip code. Now I can do that because mine is small. If your farm is bigger, that may not work for you. So I boost it to my entire zip code. For me, and I've played around with this, if I spend more money over a shorter period of time, I do like $50 to $100 over 2 to 3 days, that gets me results, it gets me engagement. I have a listing right now that came specifically from that strategy, and they reached out to me as a result of one of my ads. So, Trisha, do you want to, like,
Well, things have changed a lot with Facebook, and you'll probably see this as you keep doing it. There used to be something called an organic audience.
Yep.
Which, if you posted it, if someone engaged with an ad or with your page or liked it, made a comment, they would see it in their news feed. That doesn't happen anymore. Facebook will show it to 10% of the people, so they're not doing it.
So unless you're paid, right, which is what I do, so unless I pay for the ad, they don't see it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, and boosting is, they will, I believe in the fall, be getting rid of it.
Can you explain the difference? Because what I think I'm doing, I don't know, I'm doing a paid ad, but I kind of use the terms interchangeably, but I think they mean two different things. Can you tell us the?
Yeah, a boost is simply only people who have engaged with your page are going to see that. You're not getting any new people looking, even if you're paying for it. That's all a boost is. So
Okay.
It's a boost.
it might be shown a few times in the news feeds of people who have clicked on it and not opted in or taken action, but that's what a boost is. To me, it's
So what's better is the paid ad,
absolutely.
which is what I think I'm doing. I don't know.
Paid ads are better.
Okay. So there you go. So paid ad. So that is what has worked for me. Does everybody have a business Facebook page, or is it just your personal? I have an agent friend, if you want to follow him, Kevin LaRue, who does a tremendous amount of business. And one thing that Kevin does, which I think is really smart, because you don't want to post, spam your personal page with all business. He will, when he shares something that he really likes or posts something on his business page, he'll then periodically share it to his personal page and say, if for more great, information about real estate, follow me over on my business page. And that works really well for him. He gets a lot of engagement that way. So that's certainly something to do. Any questions on kind of the topic of business versus personal ads, paid ads versus boosting?
Something I found for ads, I've been doing ads off and on for years, and Facebook did change a lot the last year or so with algorithms, so you kind of had to change your ads based on that. But something I found was the amount that you spend and how you spend it. Meaning, if you do $5 a day, you're not going to get much. But if you're willing to do like $25 a day, you're going to get a whole lot more results. And I found that if you gave it a cap, so when you're doing an ad, you are able to say, I will spend up to, let's say, $300 for the next 2 months. When you give it a cap, I find that you get less leads.
Never cap the ads.
Don't cap it. So let's say, okay, I know I only want to spend $300 this month. I'll just make a mental note of that, and I'll go in and check it and see how it's going every few days. And if I spend a lot of money, then I'll just pause it or turn it off. But never cap it. I guess because Facebook sees that and they're like, oh, they're going to spend money, and I don't know, but it
messes with the algorithm.
Yeah.
Like you'll have people engaging, and if you did any targeting or whatever, and if you have a cap, it stops it right then and there. You could be hot as can be. I mean, you can put a budget. You can set a budget for a week or a month, which I still don't recommend doing.
I don't either.
But like $20 a day minimum if you're going to run an ad.
Yeah. And you don't necessarily always spend that much.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. I mean, I've gotten it where it's like $6 a week.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good considering what you would spend.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I found the same, that if I need to spend more per day, but I didn't think about the cap, so that's good.
I never felt like I ever spent even paying
Yeah.
$5 a day, but you're allowing the system to do that.
I see.
So,
Okay,
I don't know,
that's great
just a
advice.
tidbit.
So you
All right,
said
that's
no
awesome.
cap and no time, don't set a time frame? Or what did
I
what
just
was
let
that?
it run, and then I'm like, I and just make
Oh,
a
and then you
mental
just
note
stop
if
it
I
when-
want to stop it or I don't want to do that anymore. Then I just go in and turn it off.
You don't want a tiny budget
Thank
and
you.
put a cap on it.
Thank
Because it's, Facebook just doesn't,
Do
the algorithm doesn't
Right.
have time to
do that.
even.
I don't know the technical terms, but yeah, I just.
Because we've done that in the past.
Thank you.
We've set, I don't know what they do, a budget or a time or something, and I'm amazed at how many reaches we get, even doing that. So if I didn't, who knows
Well,
how
for
much
me,
I'll.
it's not as much as a reach as I'm doing the form at the end, so they're clicking on whatever I am advertising,
Right.
and I'm actually asking them right there in the form for their info
Okay.
before they can go further. So it's a different type of.
Sure, okay.
So you have a specific kind of call to action and something for them to do. It's not just they're seeing it, there's something for them to take
Okay.
action on.
So it's called a lead form ad. Those I found to be the most successful recently.
Okay, there you go. That's awesome. All right, good. I like that.
That's all within Facebook, you can have a lead form.
Correct.
That
yes.
sounds great.
Okay. So that kind of leads in a little bit to talking about the ads themselves. And so I think that no matter what it is, and I know Alex and I have talked about this, whether it's an ad or just your posts in general, I think it's really important that you understand who your audience is. You need to know who is your target and what is the purpose. Because if you're just posting a bunch of random things that don't make sense or don't appeal to your target client, they're not going to engage. It's not going to be interesting. It's not something that is going to make them want to pay attention. But if you are very clear on who your target audience is, either in general or for that specific ad, and then what it is that you want, who you're looking for. Like for you, it might be people who are downsizing, a certain age group, maybe living in a certain geographic area that you want to serve. So I think the more specific you can be about that, the better results you're going to get. I know that has certainly worked for me. Melody, do you do any specific criteria like that when you're doing your ads?
I used to do it differently, but then Facebook changed things. So now you have to be careful with your targeting. Obviously, Facebook got slapped for that.
Yeah, right, sure.
But I mean, honestly, for people who are in real estate, obviously it doesn't apply to those who are here that aren't in real estate. But I mean, I just keep it simple. I target people who have been looking on Zillow, Trulia, all those home sites. I exclude people who have recently bought. Because why do I want my ad to show to someone who's already bought and sold? And then I just do a pin drop on the area that I want. And then that's kind of, I think, basically what I do. And then the ad can be whatever, but typically you could do open house ads. I know this doesn't sound appealing, but a lot of people like a deal, as we know. They're not necessarily looking for a foreclosure or a short sale, but they see, are you looking for something that, is
There's the perception of the good deal.
yeah. They'll click on it and they'll put their name in. And I found people, they don't necessarily looking to buy a foreclosure or a short sale. They're open to whatever, but
They want a
who
great
doesn't
deal.
like a deal?
Everybody wants a deal.
So those tend to work well too, I think. And also, maybe even like a pool coming soon. If you have a home that's really hot and you know it's coming up, you could do an ad that says, have one picture of the home that says coming soon. You want to be the first to hear about it.
That's smart.
Somebody, Angie on our team started doing that earlier this year, and she had a ton of success with that. She would do, she had a lot of videos. We'll talk about videos. Videos are really, I think, scary for a lot of people. But she started doing those and targeting specifically, inventory is low. I can get you a list of coming soon properties because we might have access to those because we see the different realtor forums, but the consumer isn't necessarily going to have access to those. And so that's a great, understanding that target. So for her, that target audience was someone who's looking to buy a home now, somebody who's looking to buy in the next, 60 to 90 days. Wow. Does anybody else have any experience with paid Facebook ads or Trisha, anything you want to add in about tips for doing that? No, go ahead.
Just be careful. Sometimes you can over-target. I mean, it's called hyper-targeting, and I've found that sometimes you can overdo it and exclude people. So just be careful.
So probably the fewer criteria, the better.
The more hyper-targeted, the better.
Okay.
But sometimes it's you don't want to exclude some likely buyers.
Sure.
And it's been done before.
Sure.
Oh, that's true.
You know, that makes sense, and that's kind of like anybody who's done searches on our MLS, knows this too. There's certain fields that aren't required, and the more you try to cut it, the more segmented you try to get, then you end up losing a bunch of, in that case, listings. So it's better to be targeted for the criteria that you want, but not include too many. Am I saying that right?
And
Yeah.
targeting, it's psychology. You want to get in the head of the people that you want to get your ad in front of.
Mhm.
What do they like? What do they do on weekends? What are their kids into? Karate, soccer moms, all of that. You really want to get into their minds.
Yeah.
And it's niching down. I mean, I know you have mentioned this on your
Mhm.
the website, but that's my most successful campaigns with realtors have been like completely hyper targeted. Like I'm running some in Orlando right now, specifically for nurses, and they're selling houses every day, specifically geared towards nurses.
So a specific segment.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So
Wow.
I mean, there's that, and then there's like, it depends on what if you have not niched down. I mean, some people are just first-time home buyers.
Right.
But doing that and getting to that is truly the key to scamming, because
Yeah.
they will come to you as the professional, which
Yes.
is what I'm doing right now with
Right.
my own business.
Right.
I choose only to deal with like mortgage, real estate people that are all
Yep.
similar.
Yep.
But the more I do that, the more familiar I am with my client.
Right.
What they need.
Well, then you become known for that, right? And that's something that we do talk about that when it comes to building our businesses. In the beginning of your real estate business, you probably work with everybody and you go anywhere because you got to get business going. But then as time goes on, you do start niching down. I niche down to particular types of transactions and then certain locations. And I have noticed, you would think that you're actually limiting your chances, but I've noticed that the more I do that, the easier my business becomes over time, because I become known for doing certain things in certain places with certain people. And so it's a much more, organic, better way to go. Okay, I love that. So let's talk about, I've got just kind of we put together sort of our top social media branding tips and advice that we have. So like we said, we talked about this. If you're a novice in social media, you want to focus on one social media channel at a time. Don't go trying to do a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit over here. Pick one. Personally, I think Facebook is the best, and start there. And then once you're really good at it and you're really confident with it, then move on to something else. Another thing is ensuring that your profiles are complete and up to date. So especially if you have a business page, one thing I notice is Facebook is constantly changing like what information I can have in my profile, phone numbers and office hours and locations and all these different things. They changed, reviews or testimonials to reviews or something. So, checking in with your profile periodically, and that goes not even just for your social media, but if you are having a profile on Realtor.com and Zillow, which I recommend even if you're not advertising there, you want to make sure that those profiles are up to date. So when people find you, they're going to see current information.
Also change your picture.
Ah, yeah.
Because whenever Patrice puts a new picture of herself or a product, if I like her page, I get pinged. And then you say, oh, I like your new picture. And people, they respond to it.
Okay,
Just
there you go.
getting you out there for no reason, just
Right.
change my picture. Oh, there's Lisa again.
One thing that I have started trying to be conscious of is I make my photo the same across my different accounts. So my photo for my business account and the photo for my personal account are the same, so that way it's kind of people hopefully are making that connection. So we do that. And I think you have to post consistently to see results. It's just like any other kind of prospecting that we do. If you do it one time every 3 months, you're not going to get any results, and then you're going to be frustrated. So it's something that you have to do consistently. I have heard, on Instagram, because I'm trying to do more, I do 1 post a day plus my stories. Facebook, it's, maybe 1 a week for the business account. Are there any specific kind of rules or guidelines that any of you have had or heard or tried that you try to do with the frequency? Thank you. With the frequency of your account, frequency of posts?
Actually, I pay attention. I go in and I look to see when my people are on there. And that's when I do my posts.
Okay.
And it's really funny that my people are mostly on from 6 to 9 p.m. at night.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So you schedule your posts to happen while they're most likely to be online.
Exactly. Now, and also another thing that I have done is just to make it easier for myself, because you're always trying to think about things to post. So I made Monday Motivational Monday, Tip Tuesday, and I always have like Wine Wednesday because I like wine. But clients will say, like somebody wanted to send a birthday gift and put in cherry pie wine. And she said, I'm going to purchase, and she was from Florida, and she goes, I'm going to purchase it, and I saw there's a Total Wine near you. I'm going to tell them that you're going to go and pick it up. When I went there were 3 bottles of it, and they were $55 a bottle.
Oh my gosh.
So I use that as my Wine Wednesday, that this was highly recommended, and
okay.
that kind of thing. So, and Fridays I always do post my pictures of what I have done, of my favorite that week.
I love that. That's a great segue into my next tip, which is about content, because I think that can be one of the hardest things. I work a lot with Gabriel and Alex to come up with content for Instagram, and it can be hard to be constantly like, what am I going to post? And people don't just want to see open house, coming soon, or your picture with your client with the sold sign at settlement. Like, that's not interesting. So it's okay to intersperse things that are not necessarily exactly real estate with the real estate, because it's going to get more engagement. It's entertaining. So one thing that I'd like to do last week, in the plan of the week, I posted about National Donut Day. So you can go online, you can search Google, and you'll come up with the list of the different national days or whatever they are. And there's a ton of practically every day, right?
You can get an email.
There's tons. You can get emails even.
Yeah.
And so that can give you great little things to come up with, especially if you can tie it back to your community or real estate. For National Donut Day, Melody, you did a little post. Several people on our team did posts where they did giveaways to things at local donut shops, or they went to the donut shop and they did a little video in front of the place. And so there's a ton of ways that you can tie that in. Those are interesting posts. People like that. I love the idea of having specific days, for certain things, Motivation Monday, or, something related to real estate. I mean, you can come up with a ton of different things. Tip Tuesday or something. It kind of guides you. Tip Tuesday.
And actually, Thursday is my Thankful Thursday, and I always, if I can, post a picture of somebody I'm thankful for, like one of my vendors, or my dad moved in with us last summer, and I taught him how to make bows. So he's making bows for me, and he's part of my shipping department, and it gives him something to do.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And he's creative anyway, and I have clients sending me emails saying, how's your dad?
Oh, I love that. I love that.
They like knowing about
Yes.
Right,
People like to see the behind the scenes. They like to see,
get to know you.
they want to get to know you. They don't just want to work with the person whose face they see on the bus bench. They want to work with somebody that they can connect with. And so when you can do things like that, that's where social media is so beautiful, because you can find those connection points. And you never know what it is. When it comes to content, I like the idea of batching your content and scheduling your posts. For me, I have found that it's easier for me to sit down and spend an hour and plan out several different posts, because I'm kind of in the zone, right? I'm kind of going. And so I can get a lot more done versus if I try to do one today and one tomorrow and one, it takes so much more time. So batching your content as much as possible. Something that I learned from Alex is I now am obsessive about taking pictures of random things, and I usually do kind of a close-up picture, and because she can take pictures of a doorknob and make it look artful, and it can be a beautiful post. and I didn't think I could do. Yeah, so now I've started, like I'll see a pretty bush and I'll take a picture and I'll like save that. So think about when you're throughout your day, if you're showing houses or whatever you're doing, you're putting on an under contract rider. Think about, be aware of what's around you to take those pictures because you can turn those into posts. I love the idea. Shalina, did you have a comment?
What program or website do you use to put text on the picture?
There's a lot of different ones. So if you're doing it in Instagram will allow you to do that. If you're doing it in Facebook stories, you can do that. On my iPhone, if I just open the picture and hit edit, there's like a little thing that comes up right away where I can write on it.
On your picture?
On my picture. So.
Apps that you can start with free versions, and I suggest that you find a good app that you can get acclimated with because you can get the right sizing. Because sometimes what I see on Insta stories that people will cut off words or will be too big or too small.
Yeah.
And then you want to try to make it look really appealing on the stories. So you can probably look up a few.
What app do you recommend?
My favorite one is Over.
More like
Over
Instagram.
can be a
It's
little
Over.
bit complicated, but Over. I'll give parents some other names that
Okay.
make it a little easier because Over is almost like a little miniature Photoshop, so sometimes it can be
A little intense.
There's ones that are
That's
more
Okay.
That's a class for me.
That would be great.
I don't know swag. I can't think off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another idea is to design for multiple scenarios, right? So if you're going to do something in your Insta story, then don't use the entire real estate, right?
Yeah.
Decide smack in the middle, because then you can use that in other areas without chopping things up.
Yes.
And that way you don't spend so much time editing or making things for each specific size.
Yes, I learned that from these guys because because you can do, and this is kind of more related to, Facebook is much more forgiving when it comes to posting your photos. Instagram is not. And so I would take a picture, and just because Instagram would let me like put it in my post, when you look at it in my feed, like everything's kind of wonky. And so getting those right sizes, if you're using Canva, you can resize. So I will often create a graphic in Canva for Facebook, and then I'll immediately resize it for Instagram. So then I have it available. So that's a great tip. When it comes to scheduling, if you're using Facebook on your Facebook business page, you can do it right there. It's super easy. If you were to look at my business page or my team's business page right now, I've got like 4 or 5 posts on each one that are marked as scheduled, that are planned to come out.
Can you do that on your personal page?
I don't think you can do that on personal. I don't think you can schedule, but there are apps you can use like, Alex, what's an app that you can use to put schedule for your personal Facebook? Hootsuite.
also Facebook has its own scheduler, but not for personal.
Yeah. So Hootsuite's the best one. Hootsuite, HOOTSUITE, and it allows you to schedule on Facebook for personal, business, Instagram.
And other platforms too, in one place.
Everything on one place. So that's a good one. So I love the idea of scheduling. We talked about Canva. Consider, especially while you're trying to learn to build your content, consider subscriptions or other services that can help you to do that. Like Ladies of Real Estate Social is like $19 a month, and every month they give you there's like blog posts and this and that photos and a whole bunch of different things that you can just grab and go. So that's a great resource, even if you only do it for a couple of months, just to kind of get yourself some content going. There's a new one that I found that's called Social Squares. And it's $20 or $25 a month, I think, and they have beautiful photography that you can use in Canva, on Facebook, on Instagram. It's better than like the regular stock photography that you find that looks kind of like flat and boring. This is super interesting. It's called Social Squares. I love that one. Does anybody else have a service or an app or something that they use that's helpful?
I've been using it for years on my business page. It's actually through Facebook. It was called Page Engage. I think it's still called that. And I have it so it schedules a post once a day. That way, if I don't get around to posting something, at least I know something will be there. And they do sometimes a lot of times they'll just do photos of something, a cool little feature in a house, and they'll write the text.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they'll do articles like that they found on HGTV or something like that. So at least I know something's getting posted,
Yes.
and they put the text in there. But if I want to change the text, I'll just go in and edit it later on. But it's been nice, and it's really, really cheap. It's like $80 a quarter.
Oh, wow. And what's that called again?
It's through Facebook.
Okay. Page Engage.
Engage, or something
Okay.
like that. But
You know, there's a lot of services that do things like that, like Keeping Current Matters is one. And it's really funny, if you are friends with a lot of realtors, you can tell when the new content comes out because like 25 people in your feed are posting the same thing. Chances are your consumer is not friends with all those people, so they're not seeing it. But that's, you know, that's kind of funny. Pick Monkey, okay? Yep.
That's to edit.
PIC for editing. Okay.
Pick.
Um,
You edit it. To edit pictures, right?
Yeah, well, they have a lot of their own content.
Oh, they do?
Their own photos.
What was it called?
Pick Monkey.
Oh, yeah.
And then again, like we were talking about, your content really should appeal to your ideal client. So think about, I like to think about what their problem is and how I can fix that problem and target my posts around that. Like I did a personal post yesterday. It's not exactly a problem, but it was something like, you know, looking for something fun to do this summer. I mean, everybody's looking for fun things to do, and I posted about an event that I'm sponsoring. So,
Like a hook.
yeah, it's like a hook, and it's appealing, right? Because they're scrolling past tons of crap. So I love to do that. So think about that. There's a podcast I like to listen to. It's by Jessica Herron, who is the owner of Stella and Dot Family of Brands, and she's a super smart businesswoman. And she has a new podcast. It's called Self-Made. And one of her episodes, she was talking about marketing and sales, and she said, features suck and benefits sell. And I thought that is so smart, because what we tend to do, especially as realtors, and think about your social media posts, we're posting the features, and that's kind of boring. 4 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, 10 acres, like it's the same. Everything looks the same. But when you can focus on the benefit of living in this home, when you come from your, when you commute home from your crazy job in the city, you can sit on your porch and tell a story. So I think you get a lot more engagement when you can do your writing that way. It takes a little bit more creativity than just spitting out the details, but I think it's a lot more worth it. Yeah.
I'm doing more now lifestyle posts.
Ah.
There's a new, restaurant, cafe, or whatever is in the neighborhood.
Yes.
Or somewhere where I'm doing an open house.
Yes.
If I'm going to bring a treat from a place, I'll highlight that.
Yes.
So they get to know
Yes.
the area
Yes.
and the experience.
That's an excellent point, because you're right. People like that, and then not only there's a perception that you are committed to and engaged in your local community, not just somebody who's just trying to sell a bunch of houses there, right? So it's more of a giving.
My first YouTube video was I went to the farmer's market, and so I engaged with everyone at the farmer's market. I met the manager there, and so I shared my YouTube video. Now I'm friends with all of those people, and they've shared my video.
Yes. Yes. That's all. Well, you know what? That is, and that's where things get really powerful, is when you tie things together. One of the things that my team does that we're going to be sharing in coaching is we do this vendor mailer basically every month, where we partner with a local vendor and we do a special discount just for our clients. And so we're doing a couple of things. We're reminding our clients of who we are. We're giving something because we're giving them a discount on these services, but we're also promoting a local business. And so what I did today, which we haven't done before, is I did a Facebook Live with that business owner, talking about, tell me about your business and who do you serve and how do you do it and blah, blah, blah. So I'm sure he's going to be sharing it too. And I tagged his business. And so it's where you kind of get that reciprocity going. And I think that's kind of powerful. Video, point to Kim, because Kim does a lot of video. So I think, and tell me if I'm wrong, Tricia, but I think that video is really where it's at. I mean, is that video is gets you more engagement? Stories sell.
You can tell a big story in a video. Nobody's going to read along.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. It's, I was talking with my kids last night. My older two are teenagers, and of course they're on Instagram, and we were talking about Instagram, and you don't read a lot of posts anymore. I read stories, and when I read posts is when someone shares their post to their story. That's when I'm likely to see it. So you're right. I mean, I think people like the stories. So when you do your videos, Kim, who do you? Are there certain topics that you like to do, or how do you decide what you're going to do a video about?
Sometimes it's just general information. If there isn't something hot going on, like right now, refis are huge because interest rates are low. So we're talking a lot about that, and I've been contacted this week by several people because of low interest rates that were interested in investment property. So then I did my video this week, which will go out today, is how lending is different with an investment property. Like you have a bigger down payment, you have a higher interest rate, and you have a higher appraisal because there's rental analysis involved. And those are things to just be aware of. So I usually take an educational bent to my videos. Sometimes they are here and now specific, but sometimes they are just general, like credit score information. That doesn't change a whole lot. Those are going to go on my YouTube channel. The ones like when, was it October, November, when Amazon was making their big announcement?
Oh, yeah.
So that week was all about the analytics of, their choice to be down in Crystal City and how that would affect Loudoun County, real data. And because people wanted to know. So that one, it's if there's a hot topic, I'll address that. But if there's not, I tend to take an educational bent that is just timeless.
So kind of newsworthy or educational is kind of the focus for your videos. Right. And do you do them Facebook Live, or do you record them and then upload them onto your page?
I record them and upload them. I use InShot app because I like to, lending can be a little boring, let's be real. So with InShot, I can put some like funny, little characters on there sometimes. It's like interest rates are low, and you see, just anything to grab people's attention and make it not so boring.
Just be more interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and
I like that.
and I can be a little bit more dry, and all of a sudden you see these. I try to inject some humor.
There you go. I love that. InShot.
And I do it all on my phone.
All on your phone.
100% of it is done on my phone.
Awesome.
So I had a camera tripod, for my regular camera, and I bought a $5 phone accessory. And I shoot it, edit it, everything 100% on my phone.
There you go. That's awesome. And Martha, so you went to the farmers market. Are you doing more of like a community focused videos, or?
Well, I'm just getting started. I interviewed Kim for one. That hasn't gone up yet, but I tried one where I just did information on being a first-time home buyer, and I need to get more succinct when I'm communicating on camera. But you can edit. I just use my phone and I use my Mac to edit. But yeah, I like the community based more because I can like interview people. It doesn't have to be all me.
Right.
And
a little more interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's nice when you can, and I found from our experience, when you can intermix kind of raw real life videos that you do yourself, that you're using your cell phone or whatever, with professional videos, because I find that people don't always want to see like the professional thing all the time. They want to see that you're real. So when you can mix those in together, I find is when you get the most traction. We have often used Alex and Gabriel to do. Vicki just recently did a video for one of her listings, and so for several $100s, you get this like beautiful production quality video that now she can reuse this thing again and again and again, not just for the marketing of this house, but then now that it's under contract, she's going to do it again, and then she's going to be able to use it targeting sellers. Look at what we can do for your property. So you can take that kind of content and use it in multiple different ways. So don't feel like you have to be all one. You have to be either all professional or all homemade. I think when you do both is when you're going to get the best results out of that. Let me see. Oh, Instagram Live. I haven't really done that. I'm kind of afraid of that. I'm not sure why. But I find that with the videos, the more you do them, the better, because you will get better and they will become less intimidating. One of the agents on our team started doing videos about a year ago, and her first few, and she will tell you, were horrendous. Like, you know, the light was bad and the sound was bad and she was fumbling and it was super dry and it wasn't, but now, you know, after doing them consistently, her videos are really good and she's gotten better, and it's easy for her to do it. So I think the thing that I would say is, just do it. Just keep doing it, because the more you do it, and people are not looking at you and paying attention to you and criticizing you nearly like you think they are. You know, I mean, they're just not. They're going to be happy to see you, and the reality is they may not be watching your whole video anyway. They're going to see the first like 10 seconds and go, oh, there's Lynn. That's it, and then they move on. Yeah.
So we started in January our New Year's resolution, and Joe's New Year's resolution was to do a video every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And he's so good at it, and it's just torture. It is complete torture, and I'm horrible at it. But people watch them, and I get notes all the time. Hey, we love your video.
Yeah. Because you don't know what's going to appeal to someone. Right. And it's just like, you know, it doesn't matter if they don't watch the whole thing. The fact is that they see you doing it, and then it's just that reminder consistently, right. and that's what you want. A couple more things, and then we can talk about a couple quick favorite tools. Testimonials and reviews, I think those are really important, and you can put those, you can use them. The Facebook business pages have changed in terms of how people do reviews for you. Now, it used to be like I don't remember even what it was. But even if you get people to post reviews for you on Zillow, one of the things that we do is we have our marketing director, then, you know, I say she makes it pretty. So she takes the words that they wrote and she puts it on a graphic. You can do that on Canva with my picture and my contact information. And so we intermix that with our social media, because it's just a nice way. It's that social proof part of it. So testimonials are great. So make that a part of your social media if you can work that in. I love to show gratitude. The more you can give, the better you will be received. So tagging other businesses, making recommendations, writing reviews for other people, you know, give multiple times before you ask for something. I think that is really huge, and I know for sure that makes a difference. Maybe you visit a little coffee shop, you know, you were talking about the lifestyle stuff, and then while you're in there, maybe you shoot, you know, you can make multiple things of content out of one like 30-minute visit. You interview somebody like you did talking to the people at the farmer's market. Maybe you buy a little $5 gift card, and then when you put out your video, you can say, hey, you know, I so enjoyed so-and-so at the such and such, you know, comment here or go like my business page, and to be entered to win a gift card. And it doesn't cost a lot of money, and you're giving something, and I think that's big. And then lastly, how do you learn about social media? So obviously you have people like Trisha or people like Alex who can teach you and who can do things for you. But there's also a lot of people that you can learn from by observing. So observe people who are doing it well. Emulate, but don't copy. That's important. Somebody did that to me recently, and that was not very nice. So I'll give you a couple of my favorite accounts to follow on Instagram. So one of them is called Boutique Social DC, and she is a social media expert. She actually is in Arlington, and I love her posts because in her stories, she tends to give a tip like every day or every couple days. So a lot of things that I've learned, I have picked up from her. There's an agent who's out in, I think he's in California, and it's Jason Cassidy, JASON_CASSITY. And he has a really great stories. He does a nice mix between like social media education and listings and how they do their business, and I've learned a lot by watching him. And then the last one is Chelsea Peitz, CHELSEA.PEITZ, and she's also a social media expert. I think she actually works for a title company, and she teaches social media also.
Can you say that one again?
Yeah, her Chelsea, and then Peitz, PEITZ. And she is she's also really good, lots of tips. So, I just watch these people's stories and I pick up ideas and tips. And so, I think the last thing is just keep it fun. This can be so overwhelming and it's easy to be really dry and boring. But keep it light and keep it fun. Mix up what you're doing because the more you are enjoying it, the more your audience is going to enjoy it. And then stay engaged. I think one of the mistakes that people make is they'll do these posts and then a bunch of people comment and then they don't do anything. And so you need to actually, after you do your posts, you need to go back and see who's commenting on your posts and respond to them, engage with them. Otherwise, you're not really doing anything. So any thoughts or questions on that? Please.
If you get a bad
Mm.
review, you used to be able to take anything on.
Uh-huh.
You can't do that. With a comment, you can.
Uh-huh.
Address it. Whatever the issue is, address it.
Mm.
And because I've gone on just like to take on a client, and of course I totally spy on them. And, and stalk them online and see what's going on. And I'll come across like a realtor's page. Oh, she lost that for us. She wasn't quick enough. And it's not addressed. And it's very poor. It really does look poor. And for other people looking at the Facebook page too. So I would say.
So address it head on.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. That's good.
Whatever the reason, I would say be honest, or I'm sorry, or whatever, but don't just let it sit there.
Don't let it be.
I've seen them from like 2016.
Wow, for years, just sitting there. Okay, that's good.
They have better reviews on there.
Sure, but you miss it. Well, that's like, I was looking at a product on Amazon today and it had like 6,500 reviews and like the average was like 4 3/4 stars. But of course, when I pull it up, what do you see? You just see the negative reviews. And I'm reading and so instead of there's like, 6,000 positive reviews and like 500 negative, and it can be very easy to fall into that. Anybody else have any thoughts, questions? I'll show you a couple of my favorite Instagram things. No? Okay. All right. Who's on Instagram? Okay. So I'm going to show you, these are a couple tips that I picked up when it comes to doing your Instagram stories, because I like to be creative with my stories. And so I don't know if I can adequately share this with everybody, but I'll try to kind of walk you through a couple of things that I've learned. Because with your stories, I like for them to be fun and creative. So one thing that I learned to do with stories, which is super fun. So does everybody know where your stories are, how to access your stories on Instagram? So when you open your Instagram, the first little dot you're going to see is yourself, and it says your story, and that's where you can see your story.
You can only do this on your phone.
Yes, correct. You have to do it from your phone. And if you click the little camera, then that's going to open up your Instagram stories. And this is going to allow you to create multiple things. So it automatically opens for me to do a video, but it doesn't have to be a video. A lot of times what I will do is a text or a photo. So if you click on create, so here's one of my favorite things that I learned. So when you are creating on your Instagram stories, you're limited to the backgrounds. Oh, look, see, Martha's doing a boomerang. You're limited to the background that you have. So one of the things I've learned to do is to change my background to any color that I want that I can then lay my text over. So for example, so all you do is you hit the little button, it's got the 2 little letters down there, and then that's gonna pop up for me this little editing tool at the very top right. It looks like a little pencil on a piece of paper.
Where's the create?
Right over, whoopsie, oh shoot. Okay, wait, X out of that. Yours is different than mine. You have a different version. Hold on. Let's just pick a picture because it works with that too.
Okay.
So pick any photo. So if you don't have the most recent version of Instagram like I do, Kim doesn't have the most recent version. So to do this trick, just take any photo, just snap a photo, take any photo. And then what you do is you can hold down, tap the little brush, and it's going to pop up your colors at the bottom of the screen. So you pick a color, and if you hold down on the color, it's going to pull up this gradient bar, and then you can use your finger to move it around to get any specific color you want. So especially if you have like a specific brand color that you use, like for my business, for my real estate business, we use like an aqua color. for empowering women in real estate. We use purple. I can just slide over to whatever the exact color is that I want. So I've picked my color, and then if you just hold your finger down on the screen, it's going to turn your screen that color. So I just like that. I think that's a fun little thing because now I've got, I'll show you, because you have an old version, that's why you have to pick a picture. I'll show you. Hold on, I'll show you. Yeah, that's all.
So is the picture going to end up being here?
No, so your picture's gone. Your picture's gone, but it gives you this really nice background that now I can click done and I can add words and do whatever I want right there on my colored background. One other thing that I learned is to hide your tags, your hashtags, or your when you're tagging people, because you don't want to look too spammy. So you might want to use hashtags in your Instagram story, but you don't want to use it on every story because then it looks like you're spamming, right? So what you do is here's my text. So I'm going to touch on my text and I'm going to use this little box. You see the square with the letter in the middle? So I'm going to tap that, and now what it has done is it has boxed my text, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide my hashtag behind that box. So go up here to the little sticker, and I may have to type all these instructions out because I realize this is not good. Yeah, I know. And then you hit hashtag. So my hashtag is women in real estate. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fingers, I'm going to shrink it down so that it fits behind that box. I'm going to drag it on top of the box, and then all I have to do is touch the other box, and then it puts it behind. It didn't because I was doing something different with my color. But then it hides it behind your text box. So now the hashtag is there, and so if someone is searching for that hashtag, they may find my story, but it doesn't look like I'm spamming or advertising in my story because I've hidden my tag. And then I'll show you one more fun thing. So I'm going to take a picture. Let's see. Whoops. All right, let me just take a picture of this room because I don't care what the picture looks like. Well, I'll take a picture of something that I want to, I did this in the group a couple of times last week. If there's something that you want to kind of hide or something that you want to tease, maybe you have a listing and you're trying to do a little buzz about it and you want to kind of tease it to people. So here's your photo. Pretend this is a super nice photo. And then I'm going to cover it up with the color. So I'm going to use the little brush. I'm going to pick my color. I'm going to hold down on it. So now my photo is hidden behind this colored page. If I touch on the eraser, then I can tap, or I can do this, and it's only going to show, it's going to wipe away that color, so it's going to tease whatever my photo is. So I did this with some stuff I was doing for the coaching last week. So there's a lot of fun things that you can do. So I'm having the most fun playing around with some of these things on Instagram.
So what did you tease with?
So I took last week, I was working on the stuff for Empower Coaching, and I took a screenshot of what I was developing, and I covered it up with the purple screen, and then I used the eraser, and I just erased a little bit of the color so that you could see little bits, but you couldn't see the whole thing. You could do that with the listing. Can save your stories to highlight. So there's all kinds of things that you can do. This is why I think I like Instagram so much now, because there's so many fun, creative elements. So that's all I had for today. Anybody else have any questions or things they want to bring up? Yes?
A couple other for social media. I don't send regular emails anymore. It's very rare. Unless it's a quick response to like power company or whatever it may be. There's services out there. Google is one of them. But don't go for perfect. Just go for getting it done. And a simple, I do proposals now. Of course I send it in writing too. But I will go over a whole ad campaign with someone. It's so much easier than writing it.
Yes.
Things get lost in translation in writing, and you can send an email. Doesn't cost you anything. I mean, the service is like, I think it's like $25 a month or something like that. It records right there from your laptop. You do it on your phone, and it's thoughtful.
Clients appreciate it very
Yep.
much. Doesn't have to be perfect at all.
Yeah.
In fact, the best ones I've had responses, I mean, well, today I'm in a ponytail because of humidity, but like in sweats, in a ponytail, I'm
Yeah.
at home making breakfast for my granddaughter and talking to
Yeah.
them, and they appreciate it. It
Yeah.
makes you real.
Yes, it does.
Real people. They
Yeah.
don't want you to be a bot.
Mm-mm.
They
No.
want to, even with bots,
Yeah.
they're so personalized now. A high percentage of people don't even know they're talking
Yeah.
to a computer.
To a computer. BombBomb is awesome. Melody, you used to use that for years. Now you use something else in your emails, but you do that little video email
Yeah, well,
all the time.
BombBomb, and BombBomb is great, but I wasn't using it enough in the way I should be to justify it, and I wanted to do something else with that money. So, but I still really like sending video messages, especially if you're trying to explain something to someone, and sometimes it's hard to put into words, or you're afraid they're not going to understand what you're saying, or they're going to think you're being snarky or something, and you're not being snarky. So you can still do it, and it's free. If you use a Gmail-based platform, so for example, our Go Platinum group is through Gmail. It says Go Platinum, but it's a Gmail-based. There is a thing, add-on called Viewed It, and you just put it on your email as like an add-on, and then you're able to record right into the email a message. Thank you for meeting with me, whatever your message is, and when you send, it shows the video and like a little bit of a replay, and then when they click on it, it will take them to a link to see it. But I like it because it's not just a link; it actually shows the box of the video with the play.
What's the name of that?
It's called Viewed It.
It's a Chrome extension.
It's a Chrome extension, but it's free.
It's
So
a
Viewed It. Here, I'm gonna tell you exactly
If
where
you're
how to
having
get
it
it.
all up there, and you just download it from
I
Chrome
think
Store.
it works with Outlook, but I've never looked at all the other options because I've just always used Google. But so just go to Viewed It, but it's called something else in the app store. So let me find it.
And that's what you're using now instead of BombBomb.
Vidyard, VIDYARD.
Does it tell you if they viewed it and how many times they
Yes,
viewed it? That's the
tells
best
you
part.
if they viewed it, which is really
So
nice.
it's an app.
Like I sent one to Karen, and I could see she
Yeah.
watched it. Yay, she saw it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're worried, oh, is it going to go to spam?
Right.
I see it, but I've had success with that, and it's free.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Free is good. And people like to see you. They like to connect with, I mean, it's a different than just a boring email.
It's a Google extension, like or also I think it works with Outlook. If you go to it, it'll tell you
How to do it, how to
Outlook
connect
is. Yeah, it's really easy.
So our next monthly meetup is going to be Thursday, July 11th, 12 noon. We'll be back here at Casa Nostra for those of you in Leesburg. And our topic is going to be one of my favorites, which is time management strategies for real estate. So I hope that you can join us.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, sure. And I think Randy will be coming around with our checks. And do you want to do a...
Yeah, quick tip. Some of you with the technology that you have available now with your phones and tablets and all these things, you may have already have great content. You just don't know how to take the next step.
Yes.
If you can find companies like ours that will edit that content to what you want.
Yes.
You know, and now you don't have to pay for a whole production company to come and
Yes.
get the footage you already have.
Yes.
So think about that.
That's a great point because we did that. I took a bunch of, I sent them a Dropbox with just a whole bunch of, videos that we had done from different things. And even though it wasn't quality video visually, you use it just as audio and made like little snippets for my Instagram. I mean, there's like a million different things. So somebody who's really good at this stuff and creative can take, you probably have a ton of stuff already that they can just slice and dice for you and turn into great things. Thank you for watching our video of our Empowering Women in Real Estate monthly meetup. We so enjoyed our conversation today. We were talking about how to grow your business using social media. If you enjoyed watching this program, then I hope that next month you will either visit one of our in-person events. We have them in a variety of different cities all across the country. You can go onto the Facebook group to see all of the different locations. Or if you are a member of Empower Coaching, then you will be able to get the copy of this video as part of your monthly membership. If you're interested in learning more about that, just go to empoweringwomeninrealestate.com/membership.